Welcome to Knicks Home Court with your host. My name is Greg Armstrong. This is episode number 40. Wow, it took me a long time to get to this one. All right, let's jump right into Knicks news. So, the Knicks have signed future Westchester players. Xavier Mays, 6'4" point guard. Jamel Artis, 6'7", small forward. And Nigel Hayes, I think he's a 6'8", small forward / power forward. Now, I won't wax too much poetic on this, but I'll just say this. I like these signings. You know, first of all, to be a truly great team, you have to get lucky as well. You have to be able to sign guys who no one expected to be good. Perfect example, Manu Ginobili, going to be in the Hall of Fame, second rounder. Perfect example for today's game, Draymond Green, second rounder. Matter of fact, if you look at Golden State, their core, besides Kevin Durant, wasn't even a top 5 pick. And, I mean, Curry was, you know, the famous number he was. One pick before us, before we picked. Klay Thompson was later in the draft. I think he was number 13. So, you got to have some luck. Your scouting got to do their job, and you got to have some luck with this. So, you know, right now, we're taking a chance on a player like Damian Dotson, who we just signed a week before. Jamel Artis, who we signed. You know, Nigel Hayes, and Xavier Mays. Now, all these guys may not be on the team when the season starts, or they might go to Westchester, but you gotta roll the dice with these young players. Now, Jamel Artis is not so young. He's 24, and I'm wondering if he might be the guy that people sleep on, for the simple fact is that he's 24. And the fact that he's 24, he's taboo. They looked at him and said, no, he can't be good because he's 24. And that always seems to be amazing to me that it goes down like that, you know. But, hey, they want underclassmen. They want young guys, 18, 19, as if they don't fail as well. But anyway, I'm happy about those little signings. And there's another message that you can read the tea leaves on what the Knicks are doing. I believe, like I stated in the previous 2 podcasts, that Carmelo Anthony will remain on the Knicks at least until the trading deadline. And the Knicks can see, because I'm like, if we this close to possibly getting a playoff spot, we can see what we could do, you know. So I'm not saying we can go anywhere as far as further than the playoffs, but at least making it. So anyway, if the Knicks are not in the playoff hunt, when I say in the playoff hunt, I don't mean 10th seed. If they're 10th seed come February, they have to trade Melo. And they have to play all the young guys. Don't try to lose, but they will lose because they won't be that good. Trade Courtney Lee. Trade Melo. Try to trade Kyle O'Quinn. They have to do that. If there are like the 10th seed come February. Now, if they're the 7th seed or even the 8th seed with like a game or 2-game lead or something like that come February, then they have to stay the course. And if Melo really wants to leave, he can opt out, which he will not do. Trust me. And that's going to be so funny. What the Knicks are decent next year and they make the playoffs and Melo has an opt out. If I'm Melo, I'm not leaving any money on the damn table. You can forget that. That's not happening. I want all of my money at the end of the day. But let's just say, let's look at Now, I gave you one scenario if the Knicks are like 7th, 8th seed, or 8th seed with the game lead, looking like they're moving in the right direction. All right, now I'm going to give you another scenario if the Knicks aren't doing well and they're like the 10th seed, 3 games out of the 8th seed, which would be terrible because they're not going to I don't think they're going to just improve from there. If that's the case, like I said, you have to trade Melo, you have to trade Lee, and you have to trade Kyle O'Quinn. You have to get rid of the veterans and go extremely young. And then when you do that, when you go young like that, then you bring those guys back in the fold. Could you believe this is New York City? This is funny about New York City. This is actually a cab playing his music like this. It's cabs in New York. Anyway, good thing he don't have a passenger. That's what happens with Uber. People get these Uber, they drive Uber just so they can get themselves an updated vehicle, and they put these booming systems in them. Anyway, that's my analysis on that. I'm doing this because I'm trying to talk to you while I'm out here trying to make some moves. So, anyway, back to what I was saying. So, if that's the case, and the Knicks trade the veterans, and they bring back those young guys, it's a win-win. Either way, it's a win-win to me. But it's a win-win when you bring back the young guys, because if they play well and rally and make the playoffs, you did that with a very young team. That means some of them young guys came up and did what they had to do. Or you suck and you get a top pick. But again, you suck not trying to suck. You suck because your team is just not good enough. And then you rest Kristaps and see where he's at, and you prepare, you start building that way. Scenario number 2 is not what Hornacek wants. Trust me. That's not what he wants. So, that's not the scenario. I'm sure that's not the scenario he wants. So anyway, as I was saying, I like these moves because it gives the Knicks a chance to see what these young guys can do. And if the season's going to the left, they can use those guys and try to win, but it will be an effective tank. I've always said I don't like tanking, but I always told you what I mean by the meaning of tanking. What I mean by tanking, when I say tanking, there's 2 ways to tank. One way is to not give your players a chance to win, not give your coach a chance to win by signing players who are not NBA players purposely. The Knicks are not doing that kind of tank. They're trying to win, but like I said, if they're not winning, they should be smart to trade off their pieces if they can and go from there. And then they will probably lose enough games to go possibly in the top 5, seed, top 8. I got my eyes on Miles Bridges. Just remember, I said this early. If the Knicks are not making the playoffs and they're going to be in a lottery or at least 15 and up, I got my eyes on Miles Bridges. He's a small forward who plays small forward / power forward who plays for Michigan. Pay attention. Pay attention. He's skilled. Plus, I'm big on forwards and wing players because wing players in this league are premium because a lot of them can guard 2, 3s, and 4s. But anyway, I just wanted to do this short podcast, really short podcast. And stay tuned for more Melo hoodie updates. Let's hope Melo can play in a hood this year. All right, this brings us to the end of episode number 40. I am your host, Greg Armstrong. Everybody have a good day. Peace.